The grass bends under the weight of silent footsteps. A band of Australopithecus, lean and wary, moves low across the golden savanna. The horizon is alive with movement. Herds of antelope ripple like waves. Shadows of predators stalk at the edges, and the sky looms wide with the scent of coming rain. But here lies the question: what if these early humans never discovered the spear? How would survival unfold when the sharp edge of distance, the thrust of wood tipped with stone, never existed? Would they endure by claw, by stone, by sheer will? Or would the world belong forever to tooth and talon? The story begins at the water's edge. A mother dips a broad green leaf into the river, folding it into a pouch that drips, but still holds enough water to bring back to the children waiting in the tall grass. Nearby, two males crouch with sharp stones chipping at marrow bones scavenged from a lion's kill, their faces smeared with dust and hunger. The tribe survives not by the hunt, but by patience, by waiting for predators to finish, by scavenging scraps, by digging roots from the hard ground. Without spears, their distance from death is measured in breaths, and heartbeats always one step behind the beasts that dominate the land. Suddenly a ripple passes through the herd. Gazelles bolt dust rising in frantic clouds. A low rumble answers the heavy stride of a saber-toothed cat breaking from the brush. Panic erupts. The tribe scatters, clutching stones, shrieking in unison to appear larger. Children are swept up, clutched against the ribs of their mothers. The males hurl rocks, not with precision, but with desperate fury. The cat lunges, claws raking the soil, but the rain of stones strikes its flank, confusing, irritating, driving it back into the tall grass. Victory does not come from the kill, it comes from survival, from forcing the predator to retreat long enough to breathe again. But danger does not ebb. As twilight falls, another band of Australopithecus emerges from the trees. Their eyes glint in the firelight, their bodies smeared with ochre and ash. They too are desperate, thin, driven by the same hunger that haunts the savanna. With no spears, combat is raw and intimate, stone against stone, hand against flesh. They scream, bare teeth, shove, and wrestle in the dust. The clash is chaotic, a storm of limbs and cries, but it is brief. A child wails, and in that sound, both groups falter. The fight collapses, not from victory, but from exhaustion. The knowledge that survival is fragile, and tomorrow will demand strength again. Night brings no safety. Storm clouds gather, thunder splitting the silence. The tribe huddles in a shallow cave, rain cascading over the entrance like a curtain. Lightning cracks, illuminating faces painted with fear eyes, reflecting the fire that sputters in the damp. In the corner, an elder grinds herbs, pressing a poultice to the bleeding arm of a young male struck during the clash. The air smells of wet earth and smoke, of struggle and healing. For a moment, the storm outside mirrors the storm within, chaotic, merciless, but the act of care binds them, turns the night from terror into survival. By dawn, the savanna glistens fresh and green, steam rising where the sun meets the wet ground. The tribe emerges together, weary but alive. They do not carry spears. They carry stones, memories, and scars. Yet they endure. Their survival is not built on thrusting weapons, but on unity, cunning, and resilience, the raw will to face the endless dangers of a world that never waits. The morning mist lifts slowly, revealing a savanna alive with both promise and threat. The tribe spreads out in cautious formation, their bodies low, their eyes scanning every shifting shadow. Without spears, they must rely on cunning and collective strength. Two females move ahead, stripping bark and weaving thin branches into makeshift baskets to gather tubers and berries. The children follow their small hands, clutching broad leaves folded into water vessels, learning early that survival demands every breath and gesture. Far off the ground trembles with the pounding hooves of wildebeest. The sight would mean opportunity for any tribe armed with spears, meat, marrow skins, but for these Australopithecus, it is only spectacle, a moving wall of power beyond their reach. Instead, they turn toward the trees, foraging beneath roots and prying open termite mounds with sharpened sticks. The crackle of insect wings fills the air as they devour the protein-rich prize. This is their hunt, not bold charges into herds, but the patient gathering of what others overlook. Yet the land is merciless. By midday, the sun burns white overhead, the earth splitting and curling beneath its heat. Waterholes shrink to muddy hollows. The tribe follows the smell of wet clay to a river bend where crocodiles bask in silence. Thirst presses into their bones. They inch forward, the eldest males tossing stones into the shallows, testing the patience of the reptiles. One child slips tumbling forward, and a shadow erupts from the water. In a blur of teeth and muscle, the crocodile surges. Panic tears through the tribe rocks, fly voices scream. Mothers clutch their young. Stones slam into the predator's eyes and snout again and again until the beast recoils, retreating to the depths. The child is dragged back, skin torn but life intact. The price of water is blood, but still they drink cupping muddy handfuls to their mouths, eyes wide, with the memory of danger. That night, the tribe rests in a grove of acacia trees. Fire flickers weakly, born from sparks struck by stone, struggling against the wind. Around it, bodies curl close, shoulders pressed together for warmth and safety. Hunger gnaws at their bellies, but the rhythm of survival continues. One female kneels, grinding roots into paste, smearing it across the wounds of the injured child. Another plaits dried grass into cords, tying them around stones to sling with greater force, an instinctive attempt to extend reach without the knowledge of spears. In these acts, the seeds of invention stir, though the spear itself remains absent. The quiet does not last. A distant roar rolls across the plains, deep, commanding, a lion's voice cutting through the night. Every body stiffens, every breath caught in the throat. The fire is stoked, higher flames rising as if to fight the darkness itself. Eyes gleam from the grass. The tribe huddles, clutching stones, clutching one another. The lion prowls closer, its mane a halo of shadow in the firelight. With no spears, the confrontation is raw. They shriek, stamp their feet, hurl stones in a frantic storm. Sparks rise into the night like stars fleeing the earth. For a heartbeat, it seems the beast will leap, but then it falters, deterred by the wall of fire and fury. The lion melts back into the grass, its growl fading into the vast silence of the savanna. For the tribe's survival tonight is not triumph, it is endurance. They did not conquer, they endured. And endurance in this world is everything. Dawn rises again, painting the savanna in hues of gold and blood red. The tribe stirs from restless sleep, their bodies stiff, their eyes haunted by the roar that stalked them through the night. Yet even in exhaustion they rise. Children cling to their mothers, while the strongest males gather stones into heaps, preparing for the next inevitable struggle. Hunger gnaws like a silent predator, pushing them onward across the open plain. They find the carcass of a zebra half devoured by hyenas. The stench is sharp, the air alive with flies, but survival leaves no room for disgust. Stones shatter bones, fingers claw into sinew, and teeth tear into what little flesh remains. They eat in silence every bite, a victory wrested from the jaws of the wild. Without spears, they cannot hunt the living. Instead, they scavenge, adapting, surviving in the spaces left by stronger beasts. As they move on, clouds gather once more. A storm builds fast, rolling in with the rage of the sky itself. Wind lashes, rain hammers, and lightning splits the heavens. The tribe rushes into a shallow cave pressed together, their cries swallowed by thunder. A child sobs, soothed by the steady hand of an elder. Fire sputters, then dies, leaving only darkness and the warmth of their closeness. Yet, within this storm, something greater is forged. Not a spear, but the bond of survival. The knowledge that unity is their only weapon. When the rains finally pass, the world glistens anew. The air is cool, the earth soft, and the tribe steps out into a savanna, washed clean. They are scarred, hungry, weary, yet unbroken. They gather leaves to carry water roots to share, and sit together in a circle beneath the clearing sky. One begins to laugh, soft at first, then growing until the sound spreads through the group like fire catching dry grass. For a moment, the world is not only danger, but also joy, not only loss, but also togetherness. They have no spears, but they have each other. And in that bond, fragile yet enduring, lies their greatest weapon against extinction.